What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be pretty busy. We got to do a lot of work to this car to get it ready for the 200 here in a few weeks, and we got to get a lot done on this car, or getting a lot off of this car to be able to use on this car. So we got a lot to do today. Let's get the day started. Our axle supply is limited, and those are also very expensive axles. So for now, we are having to share between cars, pulling axles out after each time we run the car. So currently we have, I know we've got two really good race cars. However, we don't have two cars worth of really nice parts. We do for the most part, but there's a handful of things like axles and our carburetor and a few other small things, rear shocks, that we only have one set of. So like I said, every time we come home and we want to swap cars, for now we're gonna have to take all the parts off of one and put it on the other. But hopefully in the future we'll get it to where we have enough parts for both cars to stay on there all the time.
I guess everything looks right up front.
Both of them, so the sway bar ain't on there, right?
Well, we can't do the sway bar till we get everything set.
All right, got this car back down on scales, or on scale boxes, and we're going to pull all the measurements on it and scale it back out. I know you guys pretty much just saw the exact same thing a few weeks ago with that car, but once race season kicks off and we get to racing, it won't be quite as much of this as it will be race weekend vlogs, hopefully. So if you can bear with us and enjoy this kind of content, then I think you'll really enjoy race season. Another thing I didn't specifically show y'all, but you may have noticed in the start of the video, I have taken my seat out of Heartbreaker, and I'm doing a little bit of work to it. Like I said, if you've been watching the videos, this is kind of a small car for a big guy. Don't have a ton of room in there, but we made it work. I'm just gonna make a small adjustment on the seat just to help with driver comfort a little bit. But this car, y'all have never seen me in this car. Man, it's like a Cadillac. I lay out in this thing. This one has got an older seat in it. It's got a Butler in it instead of an ISP, but Robert built both of them. But I've got a ton of room in this car, so driver comfort is not an issue on this one, thankfully. Okay, just had it on scales, and because this car has a different motor in it, we have to weigh a different amount. So we're having to take a little bit of lead out of it because we are heavier than what we absolutely have to be. And obviously you want to be as light as you can, so we're taking a little weight out and moving a little weight around to keep all our numbers and percentages correct. All right, everything is done on this car, shy of, or setup wise, everything's done. Need to do a few things here and there on it, nut and bolt, clean it real good, whatnot. But now we are going to go to TSC real quick and see if we can find us a go-kart tire. We're gonna make us a little push bar for the four-wheeler to push these cars around, since
Peyton don't throw up.
Yeah, since Peyton don't throw up. Quick story on that. We were at the Derby in 2020, I think it was. Yeah, it was 2020. And it was Wednesday morning, because we were top 5 in points for the year. We were the first to go to Tech out of, however many late models, like 40 something pro late models. So we need to go ahead and get down there so that we can be at the front of the line, right? And not wait all day. So we're pushing the car. Peyton, who y'all saw in the testing video, was helping us. Pushing, get through Tech, come back, and Peyton is gone. Like, from the time we got down to the Tech line to the time we came back, no one could find him. And finally he shows back up. We're sitting in the trailer and we're like, "Where'd you go?" And he was like, "Well, I had to go to the bathroom," or whatever. Well, all of a sudden he gets up and runs out of the trailer and starts throwing up between our trailer and the one next to us from just pushing like hell on that car, so, or on that one. So that was the reason we bought a four-wheeler, was because it was tough for everyone to push the car around. Now we got one, so we're gonna make us a little push bar for it so that Peyton don't have to throw up no more. All right, guys, it's now the next day. Hadn't done too much to the car because when we tested this car at Montgomery back in September, it was good, and you know, we don't want to stray too far from what we had, so no major changes. We changed trailing arm angles a little bit to match that car because we liked how it felt at South Alabama. But other than that, really not a whole bunch, just because when we came back from Montgomery, we got all our notes off of it, and it's just been sitting where this car is now sitting. So really just kind of knocking the dust off of it, changing a handful of things that we found out at South Alabama that we wanted to put on this car, and just going over it real good, making sure everything's tight, nothing's broke, everything's got fluid in it, getting it ready to go in March 4th for the Alabama 200. Okay, well, we can't find the note sheet that we had done up from when we got back from the Montgomery test. So just to be sure, we're gonna go through and check everything real quick just to make sure nothing's got looked over or whatever, and don't end up going to the racetrack with something screwed up. So we're gonna do that real quick. I went back through everything on the front. Everything's good there. Then we went to run the referee over it. If you guys don't know what the referee is, this is just a little gantry looking something other that at the racetrack they walk over the car. You know, as you can see, that bar that goes across the top goes over the top of the car. All these chains measure something. You know, these measure door height and back bumper height. And so ran it over, everything was good except for the back. Obviously you want your spoiler as tall as you can get it to get it hitting as much air coming off the roof as you can, so that it creates downforce. So how it works is this chain can touch the bumper, but it can't be pushing the chain links up. So, and we've got it jacked up right now, that's why it's got like 7 or 8 there, but we ran it over it, and it had probably an inch between the bottom link and the top of the bumper. So we're moving the car up to meet the chain so that we get the most amount of air on the back of the car. And now that we've made a few changes to the car, we're gonna throw it back on scales real quick and just make sure all our numbers are still where we want them. I also want to take a second and say a quick thank you to all these guys on these cars, on this car. Yeah, both cars actually. I know if you've been watching these videos, maybe you're getting tired of me saying it, but I'm not going to get tired of saying it. The dudes that are on this car are the reason we race. You know, Ryan and Bruce with Allied, Pete and Garth with Gateway, Jim and Dave with Dixie, Steve at Napa. All these dudes are who make it possible for us to race. If it wasn't for these dudes, we wouldn't be racing, plain and simple. And I know from a fan point of view, it's probably just a business dealing where they get exposure and we get money, but I mean, these dudes are family to us. You know, it's more than just a business dealing and just money being passed around. These dudes are our friends. We see them as family. You know, they are a part of this team, and it means the world to me that these dudes support me enough to help allow me to race, because if it wasn't for them, it's not like we'd just run less. We would not be in a late model if it were not for these guys. So a huge thank you to all of them. They're the ones who make it possible. So I cannot say thank you enough to these guys. They mean the world to me, and I'm so proud to be able to run their names on my car. All right, Dad is running the shocks, getting the load numbers off of them and whatnot. I'm getting ready to nut and bolt this car. Hopefully this time we don't have any steering racks coming loose or anything like that. So I'm gonna go over it real good and make sure everything's tight. All right, guys, I think that's gonna do it for this video. This car is just about ready now. All it really lacks is cleaning and waxed, and really that's about it. Just clean it up a little. So we're like, I don't know, 3 or so weeks away from the Alabama 200. To let you guys know, we will have a little bit of merchandise there. We'll have hats. I don't think we definitely won't have shirts by then, but a little later in the year we might do some shirts if enough of y'all are interested. But we'll have hats there. If you're there, be sure to stop by, get you a hero card, picture, hat, that sort of thing. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch y'all in the next one.